Hello friends, welcome to my channel, a channel for learning simple coding. If you find this video to be helpful, please like, share and subscribe my channel. In last video we have built this application in which we have used Firebase authentication module to make a login with this application. You see that in last class we built this application. So I click here and it will log in, and after login it will show welcome page. That is the application. But the problem in this application is when I go to other pages like home and font like this. So once again if I click on Firebase DB, then again it asks a login. That means each and every time we have to make a login on this application. That is not a good practice. We have to make an application that once a user login, then it would not ask again the login until the user log out the application. So that facility if we want to give in Next.js, so it is not so simple. In React it is simple, we can use async storage to do this, but in Next.js it is not possible for that. We have to use Next.auth. It's a separate library. I will discuss this library in my later videos also, but here I am not discussing about that. I am discussing how to use the same async storage library in Next.js also to persist the login information that we are going to learn in this video. So the agenda of this class is what is async storage, how to use async storage to persist Firebase login information in your Next.js application, and how to remove a famous error async await is not yet supported in client component. This is the biggest error that is coming nowadays, that whenever we try to call a async await function, that means a function that is fetching some information from a server, that function cannot execute by using async await because data would not come until you want to use promise based syntax. But in client's component we can't use async await. So in this video I'm going to give you a solution of this also, how you can do that. It's the most important. Why I'm doing that? Because we have a async storage library. After doing so much of searching on Google, I found this library for async storage. This library we have to install in our application. So I just copy this and you can install in your application like that. I have already installed, just you copy paste and you will install it, and I show you that package.json, and I have already installed this application here. You see async local storage. So just you copy paste here on terminal and it will install just in a second. It's not a big task, just copy this line, paste and install application. After that we have to use this library to make a login information persistency. For that it is not an easy task because this application, this async storage library is work under async await function because it's a promise based library. So we have to convert our syntax according to this library. So in my application you see that in Firebase login server page, this is the login server page where we are checking the authentication from Firebase. If the authentication is okay, then we are returning a success. If success is there in this page, the login page is there, this page is there. So if there is a success, you see, then we are transferring the information to the welcome page. So this page is all about this. So what we have to check here, first of all we have to create a separate login, separate page, and I have to convert this page.js to login page because I have to create a separate component for that. Otherwise I can't use, because we have to decide on the first, whenever I click on this button, this Firebase button, I should call a separate component that will decide the user is login or not. If user is login, then it automatically goes to welcome page. If user is not login, then it show login page. That we have to do. So in the last video we have finished on this. Now I am doing after that. So for that what we have to do, this login page I have to convert into this page.js routes, I have to convert into component. So I change the name and I say login. Remember that and here I need to change this also. So this is login, and you see this is also login. So I have changed it. If I change it, and you will see that it would not run because this page have been over. Now we have to create a separate page in sign in to call it page.js. Page.js, I will create this page, RAFCE, and here I have this page. If you see the output now, you will have this page here. You see this page is coming. Now on this routes page, I have to decide whether we have login or not. Remember that we have to check it, and here we have to check also that if we successful login, then we have to save the information somewhere else by using async storage that we have successful login. So here, before returning a success, I am going to use async storage library. For that I use this import, remember. So I import this library here on the top, and then because it's already this function is async, you see this function is async, so I can use await. So I just copy this line here and paste here. If I successfully log in by using Firebase authentication, then I use this async storage, and here I say the login, or I say user, I say login, for example I say login, and here I say it says sign in. Remember, sign in means we have already signed in. So if authentication is okay, then I say login is sign in. I say this, or I can say user is sign in. User is best. So I say user sign in. So this key I have stored. This key will only store whenever we have a successful login. Remember that. So it's done. One part is done, that we have stored the persistency here that user have been signed in. Now we have to check this information at my login page here. It is already login or not, and we have to divert the page. For that, what I do, again I import this library, remember, and I say here this one like that, and I have to use this library to read the information that is already saved. We have to check this information. So here I check this information, remember that. Now the problem is here that this is await. If I remove this await, this function would not work, and if I put here async, then it will generate error. I show you these things. I say here login, sorry, I say here user, because we have saved this as a user here, and then we have to read this information. So we are reading this information, and because it's a async await library, so I put here async also right now, because we have to remove this error. We have a data here. Now what we have to do, if it is okay, then I have to reach to the login page, otherwise we have to reach to the welcome page. That we have to check. So I say if data equal to sign in, like this, then we have to do something else. We have to do something else. So if it is already sign in, then we have to go to the welcome page. So directly I can go to welcome page, but that is a route, so I can't go that also. For that I have to use router. So what I have to do, if sign is there, then we have to, if not sign in, then I have to return, you see, the login page. Remember that. So I paste here, and first of all I return a login page here. For that, what I do, I say login. Remember, this page I do if I am not signed in already. Remember, so login, which one? This one, which we have converted. You see, this will come if you have not logged in so far, so it will come, no problem at all. But if sign in, then we have to go to some page. Remember that this is what? This is what it will use. We will use here use router. So we have to put here client component, remember that, only then we can use that, otherwise we won't use. So if I use router, then I can't use this, problem is there. So I just give you a demo. I try to import use router like this, but not from router, from navigation like this. And here I create the object of this. I say const, I say router equal to use router like this, and with the help of this router I say router dot push, and here I pass the path on which I want to transfer. So I say that is Firebase DB. Under this Firebase DB we have welcome page. Remember that to this welcome page we want to divert if already sign in. That means we don't want to see this page. But whenever I'm using this use router, I have to use as a client component. I say use client. Remember that it is must to use this. But if I use this like that, then there is a problem that this async await we can't use. You see the output here. If I do that, you see async await is not yet supported in client component. Remember that. And if I remove this client side setting from here, then you will see that it will generate again one error that use router can only work as in a client component. So we have a two separate error. So how to resolve this? That is a question, big question. How to call async await function here in client side? So first of all I say it is use client. Remember that. Now one error is resolved and I have to remove this also. Okay, I have to remove this also because it's a, if I remove this the problem is data is not defined. Remember that. So it can define, I just take constant, this is not a problem. I just say constant, but it would not read information, that is a problem. Problem is that you see it is running automatically, no problem. Again, because I have not logged in so far, so it's showing me this page, login page. So it's okay, normal. So I register with the mail which I have login already at Firebase. So I give password and I say login, and you should be correct. So once again I try to give password, and you see that we have a welcome page. It's working fine. But if I go to home page, again I come to Firebase, then again it's showing me the login information. Why? Because this information is not reading. Why not reading? Because it's work in async await environment, so it can't work like that. This is the problem. So how we can execute? This is the last question here, that how to use async storage. I am using async storage to persist the information. What is async storage? Async storage is a separate library that we use in React to make your information persist in form of key and value pair. Remember that. You can read documentation about async storage on Google also, but it used to make your information persist. Persist means to store your information at runtime. By that you can get later those information and check your information. Like I am doing login, so I want to persist this information, means I want to store login information until I don't log out. So I can use async storage in React, but it's not easy to use this library in Next.js. But I am just making some setting and adjustment to do that I am showing you. So this error is coming because of using this async await function in a client side. So how to resolve this? For that, what I do, I say const, and this data is my use state. I say set data like this, and here I say use state. Remember, so this I am using here, this data. So I have to remove this data from here. First of all, this data I am using. Now this is not valid to use this data like that because it's a state variable. So for that, what I do, I call here first of all useEffect function. Remember, useEffect function I call. This is the solution of our problem. In first phase we have to use the arrow function, and in second parameter I have to put only one time I want to execute it, and I want to do my coding here. So I just remove this from here. I put it here, remember that. So what I do here, because I have to use async here, so under this I create a function. I say const get user, remember I say get user as a function, and here I do this function like this. Under this function I use this, remember, and I put here the variable. I say let data, or I can put directly also. I say let data equal to this, and here I sync async, remember I have to put async here, and I say await here, remember that. So I'm putting this await here, async here, I'm using this data. After that, reading this data, I will put this information in set data like this, and this is my useEffect function. After this function, I call this function, I say use get user, remember that this is async await function. Same, it written in documentation also, how to read information means async await. Same I'm doing, and I'm using this function under useEffect. Then I'm calling this function. This function will update this information here in data, and I am using this data sign in. If it is there, then log in, log out. Now try to do this once again. So home page, then Firebase. You see, now I have to log in first of all. So that is the problem, is Firebase welcome page is going automatically, it going to welcome page. I am just you see it already, it sign in, but it was not reading. Now it is reading my information and going to Firebase DB welcome. I have to check this because this one is should be valid. So I check this URL to send into the welcome page. Same, I just copy Firebase welcome, and same I paste here also like this. Save this, and I see this. You see welcome page is coming, but now it would not show me the login page because I have not log out. So I have to create one page, one button here in logout page. So I open this welcome page, and here I create one button, and I show you to do logout also. So I say button here, and under this button I say log out like this, and here I say class name is btn, and I say btn warning like this, and I say on click I need to call a function that is called log out. So this function I need to call. So I create function, I say const logout equal to, this is the arrow function, and here I need to again do logout information. For logout, what I have to do, remember that for logout I need to update the same information, means I have to change this information something else, or I have to remove this. For removing this, again we have to use async await, remember that, but I am trying to use without async await because this information I think can be delete without this. So what I do here, again I copy the library from here and I import it here. Now after clicking on logout button, I have to do this. So again I need to copy this and I paste it here. Remember that I am doing logout, and here I say user information is sign out, not a sign in, because I'm changing the value. And now I have, after sign out, I have to push it into the sign in page. So I need to use router. So again I say import, I say use router from navigation. Again I create constant, then router equal to use router, and here I say router dot push, and here I need to push into the login page login page means this page we have to put into this page, login page. So I need to go to sign in page. So that sign in page I need in welcome, and I say that is fire. First of all, I copy this one and I paste it here, and here in place of welcome I say sign in page. Remember, save this. So I try to check this logout page now. So refresh it. We have a logout, remember. So if I click here logout page, then it go to login, automatically is coming to login. Remember that. Now home page, click Firebase, we are on login page. I again login 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So I am doing my password and you see login. Remember, once again I click on home, I click on Firebase, again we have a login page. Remember that. Once again I go to this, I go to Firebase, then we have a this. You see, somewhere else you click on Firebase, then you have a welcome page. Remember that. Now we have persistency in login. So until you want logout, you would not get out from this. Always you have the welcome screen, means you have, once you log in your application, now this application would not allow your login page again until you log out. But if I log out, then you have a login. Remember that. Now I click on Firebase, I have a login page each and every time. You see. So you can do more optimization also. There are so many ways to make optimization. It just in a video, it's not possible to put all the logic and all the effort on a single video, because there are so many tips and tricks to make this application more optimized. But I have shown you that how you can use async storage library also, that we use in React also, for doing persistency of information. Same we can do here by using Next.js, but we have to do some modification and some type of adjustment we have to make. So in this video we have learned this, what is async storage, how to use async storage to persist Firebase login information in Next.js application, and we also learn the famous error, how to remove this famous error, async await is not yet support in client component. This error we have removed. Remember that. It's a big one to remove this error. The solution of this problem is not available on YouTube so far. Remember that. I have given you a permanent solution for this. Now we have done 50 video also in Next.js. You can go to my playlist on my channel and check all the 50 videos. All videos are valuable and have lots of information for you to learn Next.js. I have added all the advanced features like server action in my videos, that is not available also in other videos and other playlist. So in future video I am going to use Nextauth also to make a authentication with Google and Firebase and other authentication module. And not only that, I am going to use server action for your real-time database and Firestore also in the future videos. So as I get time, then I will do that. And if you like this video and you understand that how to use server action and how to use async storage for making a simple login and authentication with your application in Next.js, if you like this, if you like my effort and my dedication for making regular videos, please like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you for watching this video.